All right. Should be going. All right. We're live.
Let's do this.
So yeah, so I guess it'll probably I don't know what happened to Chuck though. Maybe he might I guess I don't know if he's traveling for his marathon or not
Mm.
because he's got it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Man, just ran numbers for financials for Bulldog Mindset. It's looking good. It's been growing every month. So total revenue
Well,
now is like or for the last month was $22,000. So
nice.
on like only like 3 grand of expenses. So
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now you're gonna increase the expenses.
yes, now I'm going to increase expenses. Hiring, got a new copywriter and a few other people doing one-off tasks, but
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. We've been talking about that shit for, I think, the last 3 months at least, from what I can remember. And I think that's something that we should all, at least I am personally, is now dedicated to that cause of finding the right people to do a lot of the stuff there's no way I could just run this business by myself and grow it to the level I think it's worth growing to.
I was just reading in was it the Great by Choice, right?
Oh yeah.
Just the part I'm still pretty early in the book,
Mm-hmm.
but where Steve Ballmer told Bill Gates that they need to hire 17 people,
Yeah.
right? And Bill Gates freaked out. And I was thinking like it's so hard to like make that financial commitment to hire people. Like you want to have so much money in reserve and you want to have like such a well-defined, you think as an entrepreneur, well, what will they do for 40 hours a week? I need to have enough, but that's not that you should really like jump the gun, but at the same time that it's never going to be perfect, right? You're never going to know, have this, okay, absolutely I need to hire this person. You're going to have to hire people and then it's like a stretch and then you grow into that, right? That's the thing about it.
Yeah,
So
it's I think the Bill Gates philosophy there makes a ton of sense too. Like, so control your expenses and take it easy on the expenses. Don't just go crazy with all the insanity of like hiring a whole bunch of people. But at the same time, there is every business is in a different state at any given time. And if you can clearly identify this is the work I need to get done that is not getting done and it's costing business money, well, I think it's safe enough to say that's time to hire. Because if you can see that work having to be done again and again, like if you can see, okay, I need someone to do this for me again and again and again, or I need this to happen consistently for the business to be able to grow, and I can see a return on this revenue or return on this expense very clearly, because if that person does this and it will generate me this, then it is actually, you know, it's definitely something that we need to go build on. The challenge I think for a lot of us as the people who kind of took on the 4-hour work week slash solopreneur slash the I am the guru or I am the expert philosophy or mindset is that now we have to let go of that. And or at least in my realm, my way of thinking, I'm like, all of that shit was good to get the business to a certain level, but it's like no, there's no winning without people doing a shit ton of work for you.
yeah,
There's no leverage. There's no, and not only so here's the other thing about this whole thing. Most of the people who are in this like 4-hour work week slash solopreneur slash $100 startup slash expert slash whatever you want to call it, the lifestyle entrepreneurship community, most of the people are stuck with the idea that I create value and I am the star while everyone else supports the star,
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
right? But to build something bigger, you really have to get past the point of I am the star.
Right.
Until I am the star, for as long as I am the star, the business is stuck. I personally believe, or the business has very limited growth potential
Right.
compared to, and not only that, the business you are beholden to the business all the time. Like you're constantly, the business runs your life.
You have to go from I am the star to really I am the investor, and that outlook is different. So a good example of this is the copywriter I hired, right? I got on a call with him yesterday because I had asked him to send an email like to the list, the weekly email. It'll be interesting. The first one is going to come out Saturday, which will be like the weekly one I've been sending to get membership. And anyway, he was wrote the copy for it, and then I just wanted to go over it with him. And he's like, I have a question for you though. He's like, I don't why are you giving me access to so much stuff, everything? He's like, when I normally work with people doing copywriting, they tell me, write this email or rewrite this email or write this copy for this page, right? And he's like, but you just gave me access to your entire email program, and you basically gave me access to the sales pages and to the whole funnel, and right. And then he's like, why are you doing that, right? And I told him, I was like, look, like, if I have someone working for me, I want them to be better than me. I want them to figure out what needs to be done to use their expertise and skills. If I just tell you, write this email or write this email, right, then I'm still doing all the work. I'm still deciding what, what I mean? Like and that's what, that's what I kind of realized is, like, in order to really grow, like, if you think about it, if you hire a copywriter and then you have to tell them exactly what emails to write and what the campaign should look like, right? And you lay out, oh, I want these 15 emails, and this is what I want them to say, then you're really not leveraging much at all. I mean, sure, you're not writing the emails yourself, but you're defining all the work, right? Whereas that's, that's the thing is, like, to get that leverage, or to go from that solopreneur standpoint. That's why I say, thinking like an investor, you've got to have not just employees, but employees that are able to either be self-managed or some manager that's managing them. If you're the one that's still giving out every single task, then you should be coming up at the project level instead of the actual task level. Like the task level is what the solopreneur does, is
Yeah.
he gets help. He hires people to, like, do tasks for him.
Mhm.
The real business owner hires people to do projects and
and
to
and I
coordinate
think
on those
at
projects.
some point, so there's a graduation level here, right? And that's what I have been talking about, the book Build a Business Not a Job, forever now, for the last 3 months, I think. Ever since I came across the book, I just recently interviewed the author, David Finkel, on my
uh,
podcast as well. So one of the things we were talking about was, like, there are 3 stages or 3 levels: the level 1, level 2, level 3, if you want to call it. Or level 1 is the stage where you're in the product market fit. You're trying to figure out if this business actually is viable, and you can, if is the product going to fit the market, and you're going to be able to make sales profitably and make money.
right.
Level 2 has a bunch of stages. The early stage of level 2 is you're just making sales. All you're trying to do is make more sales. Really,
Yeah.
nothing more than that. Just make more sales. Focus on selling, 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 selling. Middle stage in level 2 is where you say, okay, selling is not enough. I need to create systems. So you hire people to do the tasks for you. Do this, do that, do this, do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
At advanced stage level 2, you're able to get people to create value without you telling them do this, do that. So they are able to self create stuff. And then you go to level 3 where they're literally able to run the whole business. So you're
Yeah.
going from someone doing tasks to someone running the project to someone coordinating, like people coordinating between each other to run the business, to people running the business. So these are the different stages of the business. Most of the times, we as solopreneurs or the lifestyle entrepreneurs are stuck in the phase of, let me be the value creator and I am the star with 1,000 pawns.
Yeah.
Well, the graduation from that only happens when you stop yourself as being the star and you say, okay, everyone else can be the star too. I just have to let that happen.
Yeah, I think of it in terms of soldiers and generals, right? It's
Mm.
like where you said 1,000 pawns, it's like having 1,000 soldiers. If you hire 1,000 soldiers, you're the general still, and you have to command those soldiers. And there's certain times when you need a mix of soldiers and generals, right?
Yep.
You need to have, but soldiers do tasks that are defined that don't require really creativity or thinking about strategy, the long-term vision. They just implement the thing, right? You can hire a soldier to just edit videos, or you can hire a soldier to just do whatever it is, even as writers, just to write this, right. But a general has, I want to say a KPI, but it's more like they have a particular, they have an objective, right? So I could hire someone as a soldier to run my Instagram account, and I could tell them, make 3 posts per week of this type of thing and this content, and post them on this schedule, and this is exactly what you need to do, right? And that'd be a soldier. But I could hire a general to run my Instagram account that says, grow the account.
Yeah.
Right? You decide how many posts need to be posted per day, within these parameters. This is what I kind of want it to look like. You decide how you're going to create the content. Do you need to hire some people to create the content, right? You decide what the scheduling is. You decide, but the metric I'm judging you against is that you're growing the account. Whereas if you hire a soldier, the metric you're judging them against is, did you do the job, right? And
So that's right. And if we go even a level above that, you're thinking of the master and commander or whatever you want to call him. You tell him, you're the ruler, you're the kingdom, you're the king. And
yeah,
you tell him, grow the revenue.
exactly. Yeah.
So when you get to the stage where you can tell people to grow the revenue, now you're talking about a real business.
Right.
Until then, you're talking about a business that's solely dependent on the entrepreneur to run it, to make it happen. So a real business will have people who can literally grow the revenue without you being involved, and that means it's scalable and sellable.
Yep.
Until then, it's not scalable. Until then, it's not sellable because it depends on you to generate revenue, to grow revenue.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yep.
So that, I think that itself is a pretty difficult journey uh, to take, and I think most of us will never undertake that journey because um, I think we're too egotistical. We're too. Um, I think there are two sides to the coin. One is that we believe that we're too good for, like, we are so good that nobody else can do what we do, and the other is to think that that will be expensive,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right? So I want to do everything. I can do it as cheaply as, and nobody else can do it as good as me. So I'm stuck.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. The expensive part has been, I think, the biggest hang up for me, because I've gotten people to do things, but I know that the next level, like I said, hiring the copywriter, that was a good move because it's expensive, but so much more can be done now in the business, and can be done better than what I could do it. But yeah, trying to get that whole team in place is critical
I think
because
it's a long-term play, in the sense what David Finkel told me during the interview was also like he decided at some point that within this much time, in his stage, he said, okay, within 18 months, we need to become owner independent business.
Mhm.
So they made the moves according to that, to like to make it an owner independent. So I think partly it's starting with the goal of whatever you want it to look like, starting with the goal of what you want the business to look like. Maybe you just want the business to look like where all you do is, and you go to Trello, you make a list of videos and you record the videos, and that's about all you want to do. Everything else is just the
Yeah.
business grows because of everything you do, or because or beyond everything you do, because if the business only grows because of everything you do, you're still stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I was just watching or listening to the Blinkist podcast and the Blinkist YouTube channel and all those things, and like for me it was kind of understanding that uh, yeah, there are plenty of people who can do what I'm doing, plenty of smart people who can do all of these things. I just have to pay them to be able to, hire them and do those things. Big freaking deal.
Yeah.
Um, they can script it better than me. They can analyze it better than me. I just have to be able to find those people and go through the process. So it's it's interesting. It's challenging to think like that, to think beyond yourself.
Part of it too is that like when you hire someone to do a job, right? They are just focused on that one thing,
Mm-hmm.
whereas you are focused on so many things, right? So, could you write better copy if you were just all you're doing was writing copy? Sure. But
Mm-hmm.
you can't. So you write some half-assed copy, or you do the best job that you can in the time because you've got other things to worry about and think about, and then you're not living and breathing that thing. You're not researching
Yeah.
it. You're not training yourself. You know what I mean? Whereas that's where hiring someone, even if they
Yeah.
don't have the skills, like even if you train them, makes makes sense because they are going to be able to do it better than you because they're devoted to it and they're going to improve over time,
Yep.
whereas you can't improve in 20 different areas,
You can't. I
so
think that's the ego. It's the ego that keeps us stuck most of the times. The ego that I am the super human who can do it all and who must do it all.
yeah.
That's what is the downfall of the lifestyle entrepreneur in some ways. Um, we were talking about it last time, or maybe not. Maybe in the gym, we were talking about this idea that, um, yes, people may not care. Like the reason
Yeah.
why we don't want to hire is because we believe that someone will not care enough to do a good enough job. They will not.
Right.
They will not care as much as you do about that area. But the key distinction is, just because they don't care as much as you do doesn't mean they can't do a better job than you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
caring has nothing to do with the job they can do.
Right.
You think that because you care, you can do a better job at every damn thing that's in the business.
Right.
While the truth is, no matter how much you care, you are tapped out. You can only do so many things. So you really are like the person who doesn't care about the business, but who actually is good at that damn job will do much better than what you can do by caring about the damn thing all the time.
Yeah, no, it's true. Sometimes it's better if you don't care because you make a lot of mistakes when you're trying too hard to hit the ball, right? When you're because you have you have a lot on the line, and then you second guess yourself, and then you tend to have a perfectionist, right, instead of getting stuff done. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's it's one of the most dangerous uh, things as a business builder. I mean, I was looking at, yeah, we were talking, remember, about Kevin Harrington and what he does to, so a lot of people are probably familiar with Jack LaLanne, the juicer, the Jack LaLanne juicer, or
Right.
Tony Little's Gazelle, or George Foreman's grill, right? People are familiar with all of that stuff, but what people don't know is that Jack LaLanne is not the owner of the juicer company. He is a minority owner, maybe 1 or 2% or 5% or something like that.
Right.
And with Tony Little's Gazelle, he's just maybe 1 or 2% royalty or something like that. Same with George Foreman's Grill. What is happening in all of these cases was Kevin Harrington, the mastermind behind the scene, who went and hired these people to be the spokesperson. He went and found the product. Kevin
Yeah.
Harrington found the product. Kevin Harrington found the media, which is the TV channel where he was advertising, and he found the talent. He founded someone like Jack LaLanne and say, I want you to be the talent who sells this, who come and record the infomercial with us for 2 days.
Yeah.
We're done, and we'll pay you this kind of royalty, or we'll make you this kind of owner, so that you're always like a spokesperson for the brand.
Yeah.
But literally, for an outsider, you're thinking, oh, Jack LaLanne is the expert who created this juicer, who blah blah all of this shit. There's actually the
Right.
business owner behind the scenes who did all of that, which is very powerful, like mindset change. You could be Jack LaLanne, the juicer dude, or you could be Kevin Harrington.
Right. Yeah.
Would you rather be Jack LaLanne, the juicer dude, or would you rather be Kevin Harrington?
Well, and the problem is, see, and this is what I've realized from, having two businesses that are essentially, well, one that now is still personal branding that has me, but the other one not, is that you can't be both at the same time. Like, if I were just making YouTube videos, if that's all that I did, I could make excellent, like way better YouTube videos than I could be a much better talent than I am now. But I'm running a business as well, right? And so I'm trying to do all these other things, and I have to, I have to have the marketing, and I have to handle the accounting and the sales and all these other things, or even just the business strategy. And so you actually, well, it's just like E-Myth Revisited, right? It's like you might be, you could be an excellent baker, I suppose. Like, just because you're a really good baker doesn't mean you're a good business owner, right? It's like when you make that transition, you can no longer do the thing, right? You kind of have to choose, right? It's the same thing even with programming, right? A lot of people ask me, well, do I code anymore and do I program? And it's like, no, absolutely not. There's no way. And you have to choose. You're either going to do the thing, like you're either going to be talent, like a skill base, or you're going to be a business owner, but you really can't be both. The only way I suppose that you could be both, or well, is if you have a partner that is a complete business owner and you're completely the talent. They're the manager and you're the talent, and you've got some kind of percentage ownership in it. But you can't really run your own business and be the talent. It's just like you can, but you'll be completely limited in.
Well, of course. I mean, we
scale.
know all the people in the industry today, in our industry, in the lifestyle entrepreneurship industry, who are the talent and the business owner and everything else. And you and I are poster childs for that too, in many ways. Much as I would like to not think that 2000 books is, I am the talent. I am. I am currently the poster child, and you are doing Bulldog Mindset. You are the talent behind the scenes. And all the people we know, anyone in our industry, any YouTuber you can name, or any podcaster you can name, it's the same story. But then there's some people who have decided to evolve beyond that. I was just telling you about Dave Ramsey. He has a podcast. He's the talent for the podcast. But I was just browsing the categories, the podcast chart, like the top podcast on iTunes in the business category. And there's like 4 different Ramsey podcasts on that. 4.
Right.
Dave Ramsey, his daughter's podcast.
Oh yeah.
Chris Hogan, I think, is another guy on the podcast. There's another one of his employees. He has a podcast, and they're on the Ramsey network.
Yeah.
Another brand, Bigger Pockets. Bigger
Yeah.
Pockets, Josh Dorkin was the guy. He was the brand. Like he was the founder, and I think he had some family emergency to the point where he could not even participate in the podcast, and now he doesn't even exist on the podcast. And the
Yeah.
brand goes on, lives on, and is doing amazingly. Right? The talent is gone. In case of Ramsey, the talent Ramsey podcast still exists. Probably he enjoys doing it, so he's running it. But even if it were to go away, these other podcasts will carry on for him, and they'll still
Right.
make him money,
Well,
and they will be able to now create other podcasts.
and the question is, does Dave Ramsey actually run the Dave Ramsey business or not? Right?
Or
Maybe
maybe
he's just a talent now, and he's got a CEO that's running the business. In fact, that's probably most likely, right? And he's just decided to be the guy that shows up and
or
right
maybe
because
maybe he's run by Agora, right?
yeah, maybe he's
Like
own yeah yeah
like he's owned by some other much bigger company that was behind the scenes that we don't know about. Like
yeah
Agora is one of those behemoths in our industry that people don't know about, but they literally run half the freaking content industry in many ways.
yeah
You were telling me Rich Dad Poor Dad is now owned by Agora, which is
yeah
crazy. Like freaking Rich Dad Poor Dad of all things, one of the biggest brands in personal development or business in some ways.
yeah yeah. See, that's it's actually kind of a that it's I can see why Kiyosaki would do it, right? Because it is the way that allows you to be the talent and
Mm.
still have the business, right? It's like having professional management. It's because of that problem that I just said. Like if you want to be the talent, then you're not going to run the business effectively. And if you want to run the business effectively, you can't be the talent.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have someone else buy you and they're running your company, they're doing all the business functions for you, then you can still be the quote owner to some degree, but you can still be the talent because you can focus on that. But yeah, you just
Yeah.
can't do both and scale it to a large degree.
Yeah, I think the conversation in our industry, and I call our industry is the lifestyle entrepreneurship industry in some ways, the online marketing industry, is constantly about being the talent.
Yeah.
Like that is the whole conversation. Like every freaking one is teaching how to be a great YouTuber, how to be a great podcaster, how to be a great blogger. Very few people, if anyone, is talking about how to build a content network or a machine that runs without, like almost no one is actually talking about that. David Finkel is probably the only guy I have come across in a long time who's saying, hey, build a business, not a job. But very few people really have that perspective to even think like that, I think. Or
Well, I think there's more than you think. But the problem is that who's going to be talking about it? Who are you going to hear from? You're only going to hear from people who are brands, right?
Mhm.
Otherwise, there's plenty of people that are running businesses. I mean, look around just the city and look at every single commercial building, and every single one of those is a business that's run or owned by someone, right? Every single online business, all of these things, every product or service you buy, there's a lot of business owners that have no social media presence or have no platform.
well,
You just don't hear from them.
the biggest businesses don't really have any kind of like, if you look at the biggest YouTubers today compared to the biggest businesses today, the size of those businesses will be like millions of times bigger than the size of in terms of revenue
Right.
than the biggest YouTubers. But the YouTuber following might be much bigger. Doesn't mean shit in terms of
Right.
the money.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like nobody's going to be talking about it because if whoever is talking about it is the talent, and why would the talent be talking about it?
Exactly. You
Talent
only
doesn't
hear
really
from
understand that.
yeah.
The only person who understands this is the business owner who actually has escaped this, and he
Right.
doesn't care to talk about it anymore because he's escaped this shit.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like our friend Miles in some ways, like he couldn't care. He's not going to start a podcast to talk about why you need to escape the rat race of lifestyle entrepreneurship. I mean,
Right.
he's told me personally when I talk to him, he always says like, dude, this you don't want to do that business. Like that's not long term the kind of
Yeah.
business you want to be in. But I don't think he has any interest in starting a YouTube channel or a podcast to talk about why you need to uh, uh, escape the rat race of lifestyle entrepreneurship, because his business is way bigger than anything that any kind of coaching like this will ever bring.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So we're stuck in what I think would be called uh, um, I think it's an incestuous
Yeah.
situation here, because all the people who are teaching all of this stuff are the people who are themselves those people.
Right.
So they cannot escape that. So they will end up teaching only what they know, which is how to not escape this shit and be stuck in this forever.
And the problem with it too is that, like, for most people it's a great goal, right? And when you're looking at it from the outside in, you're like, oh wow, if I could make like $100,000 a year running my own business and working, if I wanted to, 4 hours a week, that would be wonderful. But when you get there, it's not. Then you see that it's actually not that wonderful. I mean, it's great, but you realize that you kind of, because you thought that that was the goal, you boxed yourself in and you've made it harder to go anywhere from there, right? It's like, it's, it's not as great as you would think that it would be.
Yeah, you've created a job for yourself. It's the
Yeah.
title of the book, Build a
Yeah.
Business, Not a Job. So
Yeah.
I think the people who are talking about it is like people like David Finkel, really, the
Yeah.
Maui Mastermind guys, or maybe Scale, and some of those guys who are really teaching this as their major business model in some ways. And very few people are really in, invested in that communication or invested in that conversation in any way, shape, or form. Maybe the digital marketer guys, the war room guys, and stuff like that. But very few businesses really care to cater to that high level,
Yeah.
or to think to address that.
Yeah. Even someone like Tony Robbins, right? He's got a job
Yeah,
because
Tony Robbins is the poster child of this, and
he's
Gary
got to show
Vaynerchuk as
up,
well. Gary,
especially. Yeah.
like, all he does is produce content all day long for his business to continue to grow,
Right.
right? For his brand to build, and he's not going to say, "Hey, you need to build a business, not a job." He's going to say, "Just do what you're passionate about, and you'll make money," because
Right.
that's his hustle. That's his point of view,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or not only point of view, that's the only way he builds his brand.
Yeah.
As soon as he starts saying, "Hey, you need to build a business, not a job," he will lose all the passionate followers he has, because they'll be like, "What happened to all the talk about passion and passionately doing your business and all those things?"
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to run
Yeah.
to the restroom. I'll be back.
Okay. Well, we've got dead air time now. Now I have to fill the dead air time. Thanks a lot, Manny. What shall I talk about then? Since we've got dead air time, now it does really do feel like I'm talking to myself, not like I'm recording a video. So let's see what else is going on with. So the transition is complete. I now am back 100% owner of Simple Programmer, and I'm working on setting up more affiliate deals with that and getting things running smoothly again. I've got the second edition of Soft Skills book just about complete. Finished all the edits for that. And what else is there going on? Have a bunch of experiments going on with trying to figure out how best to grow and promote YouTube videos as opposed to making more videos. Instead, can we put videos on Reddit and grow from there? Can we promote them in other ways? And working on SEO instead of creating a lot of extra content. Let's just SEO that content. So wonder what happened to Chuck today. And Bulldog Mindset membership is growing over 200 members. I think 205 members now. So the revenue from that is about a little over $5,000 a month, which is pretty good, pretty decent. YouTube revenue for advertising is about 2,200. So Bulldog Mindset without coaching is about $7,200, or actually more than that, because there's affiliate revenue from like Bluehost and Thrive Themes and a few other sources. So really close to around $8,000 a month of revenue from Bulldog Mindset aside from the coaching. So that's pretty solid. It's a solid business now. So I'll have to form its own LLC and its own QuickBooks. Right now it's merged with my parent holding company, and I'm just running separate numbers on spreadsheets to extract out the Bulldog Mindset finances from that. So it's highly profitable at this point. And but I'd like to see the membership hit about $10,000 a month of reoccurring revenue. That'll give me a lot more ability to grow the team and hire people. So I thought about splitting it out into more focused subject areas. I keep on going back and forth with this, but I think I'm going to keep it as broad as it is, just because I feel like that's what the message that I want to promote. I don't want to just be a finance guy or just be a fitness guy or just be a dating coach guy. I want it to be the whole package. So it's not the best strategy for growth, but I think overall it's the strategy that's going to win, to capture the most market share and to really build the brand itself, as opposed to as opposed to just trying to target a specific niche. So yeah, and part of it too is just the idea that that's what I want to do, right? I could be growing and creating a more profitable business if I picked one specific niche, but I don't want to. I want to. This is the thing that I want to create, and the legacy, I suppose, that I want to leave is this. So I wonder what happened to Chuck and Kazi. I don't know if Kazi got the invite. Doesn't show him accepting it. So. What else is going on here? I fell off the wagon on the Pomodoro, doing 10 a day, because I started picking up my phone again, which is bad. And not, in breaks. So in breaks now, it's back to reading books, no social media, none of that stuff. No, any tasks that I'm doing, they need to be scheduled. If I have to do something impromptu, then I make a task for it and start working on Pomodoro. Keeping it super strict is key. I'm back on track now, but it was there was at least like a week or so where I was just feeling like I was not getting anything done, and I wasn't getting much done because I wasn't on track with it. So. What other learnings? I don't know. All right, Manny, I've run out of things to say. Must have fallen in the toilet. So I'll just living being is asking focus on your talent, John. You got it. What do you actually want out of life now? That's a good question. What do I want out of life now? Just to really keep on improving. I think to keep on improving, obviously, and then to I don't know. It's hard to say. Like there's nothing I really want. I mean, I'd really like to build a business where with Bulldog Mindset where I'm reaching more men, where I'm more fulfilling that mission of teaching men how to become men. That's really what it comes down to now. But there's nothing that I really need, right? I mean, I'm always on the path of improvement. So, all right.
Sorry, you've been talking to yourself?
Yes, I've been talking to myself.
That's awesome, man. That's always good. At least we know we know your YouTube capabilities are still strong.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've been considering, I don't know what you were talking about. What you were talking about to yourself. One of the things I think we've talked about it a little bit is for the entrepreneurship one. I'm thinking of making it a membership, where there's like they get weekly book summaries, but then they also get like a mastermind kind of thing,
right?
An ongoing monthly membership rather than a one-time just access to all these book summaries.
So turning it into a membership.
Yeah, so it would be weekly book summaries, but then more importantly, it would be like coaching calls or like a mastermind style group coaching calls as well.
Isn't that the exact opposite of what we were just talking about?
I was actually thinking about it, but I was also thinking that as I'm hiring people to do it, it would not be hard to get to that point where you can give up that role to other people.
Or never take the role in the beginning. If you're going to do it, hire be the kingmaker. Like you said, hire someone that is going to be the talent. Maybe someone who's already got like maybe a small YouTube channel who's producing similar content and make them be the guy that does the mastermind and the coaching. And
in which case I wouldn't even do it.
Yeah, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. If you're not going to do that, then don't do it, because you're going to, why even start by trapping yourself in? I mean, you've got the knowledge now to know that you shouldn't trap yourself into it. If you're just starting out and you had to, then, and you're just starting to build the business, then that would make sense. But it doesn't make sense now, I don't think.
Yeah. Now the part of the challenge is that the writers I'm hiring right now, of course, they can do a job of writing, but they can't really be the talent right now in terms of voiceovers and stuff like that, right?
Right.
So we can do voiceovers. It's not really like the question then becomes, do you actually need a voiceover talent, or would you actually only need a script writing talent? Because
what do you mean?
What I mean is, do you need someone who actually understands the book to be the person who narrates something, narrates a book summary or something like that, to the point where it's like a animated video summary or something like that? Or you just need the script and the person? So either you need the talent to be able to so well versed with the book that they can talk about it and kind of talk in a cohesive, intelligent manner, or you need the talent that just needs to read out the script that we have created.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just have someone read the script, really. Have multiple people read the script.
Yeah.
That's the key to making it so that you're not stuck on one person too. So
So then you look at something like alux.com. Have you seen Alux?
hmm
You see what they do?
yeah,
I know it's a lowbrow,
yeah,
but what they're doing in terms of it doesn't matter who is the voiceover talent. You don't even notice that,
right, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
The Big Idea or the Alux or all these guys, you don't notice who the talent is. It doesn't even matter because they're not selling that personality. But you and I can laugh at it. But the person who's actually built alux.com
right.
is a legit
The,
business,
yeah,
right?
it's. I mean, it's just well, it just goes to show you too that it's better to be smart than talented, right? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, the content on alux.com is really shit.
yeah,
It's really like honestly shit content. Like
yeah,
it's it's stupid shit. Like
yeah.
I mean, the 15 best fiction books for entrepreneurs. But I know if I listen to that, it will be like just some stupid shit. Like
Uh-huh.
literally, like I have no respect for the content. But look at them with 2.5 million subscribers, right?
Hmm.
And whoever owns this, they are they don't have to do anything. They're you know I have no idea who owns it. It doesn't matter. They're not
It,
involved.
it
They're
it
just
could be
it's all hired out.
freaking. It could be, for all we know, it could be Agora. Like we don't know who it is,
Yeah, yeah,
but they
exactly.
literally. Uh,
It's a good business for
it's a
sure.
great business because
Yeah,
we have no clue who the fuck is doing it,
yeah,
and that is always a great business when you don't know who is doing it
yeah, yeah.
because it doesn't depend on that person anymore. Like there's no. I wonder what their uh, traffic is like because YouTube it's huge, but I wonder if their website is also huge.
Now, see, here's the balance, though. This is where like Alux falls on one side of the extreme. There's a balance between making money and creating something meaningful, right?
Yeah.
It's like if we really just want to make money, let's create porn sites, right? Like,
I don't know
or
if we can succeed at that right now.
maybe not, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there's definitely ways that where you can create shitty stuff and make money,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a balance in between, right? Like, it's like if you're the artisanal crafter, like making, handmade wooden horses that you carve yourself, you're completely in control of your business and you're creating the greatest product that you can, but you're not going to make much money. On the other extreme, you have stuff like Alux where it's just a bunch of crap, right? But they're making a lot of money, but they're not really impacting the world in any positive way. It's a bunch
Well,
of bullshit, like
maybe not, because that's
or
where
viral buzz. Let's take viral buzz, or
because here's the challenge there now. They may or may not be making the world a better place because um, they are getting the first like people who are at that level of thinking to the next level of thinking, and maybe someone else caters to the other to a more higher level of thinking. Like the most basic, like someone being just exposed to the idea of these 15 books they should read might be a great start for them until they find someone like me.
yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, again, I'm picking on them hard, but I'm saying what they represent, which is like just what if you're just creating bullshit? Like take BuzzFeed for instance, right? Total bullshit company, right? It has no positive value. All it is just a money grab, 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing behind it besides just a money grab, really. So
What do
you
you
know,
think
there's
of McDonald's?
well, that's a good question. What is McDonald's? McDonald's is providing a service, right? Like
But is it something that makes the
there,
world a better place?
there's an art in just the business itself, I suppose, right? Like that in itself is a work of art,
Mhm.
right? Like an inspiring work of art, just the business model. So
Sure.
there's something about that as well, I would say, um, but it has a tangible benefit. It's at least like creating food, feeding people. It's
Is it? I mean,
it.
wouldn't people be better off starving themselves than eating McDonald's food?
No, 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 no. McDonald's
Wouldn't
food
people,
isn't that bad for
wouldn't
you.
people
It's
be
really not.
better off like fasting that day than eating that burger?
Uh, I don't know.
You know it.
Uh,
You know it.
no,
You're the master of fasting. You know it.
it's not that bad for you. So
Stop it.
it's not. There's just a perception of it, really.
I don't know if that is a perception. What else is? But anyways, I mean,
Anyway, but the point, but yeah, I mean that's a valid point. Like McDonald's is also not. I mean, would I want to create a McDonald's? Probably not, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, you could if you're going to compare that, you'd compare that to like some artisanal restaurant to a high scale artisanal restaurant to McDonald's, right? It's like
Yeah.
one of those McDonald's can scale and make billions of dollars. One artisanal restaurant where you're the cook and the chef, like
Uh-huh.
you're not gonna. I mean, maybe you could be successful, but you're not gonna make a lot of money,
Yeah.
right? So, but there's a balance in between where you're doing something like an intersection of doing something that you enjoy
Maybe
doing, that's
something like
meaningful to you, that makes money, right?
something like Whole Foods.
Yeah, that, well, it's owned by Amazon now, but
Well, you can argue Amazon is doing a great service to this world, but that's a different kind of business model. That
yeah. Well, Amazon is though. Amazon is so okay. So if you're Jeff Bezos, are you fucking proud of Amazon and what Amazon's doing? Not
hell
just
yeah,
because it's making money,
hell
right?
yeah,
You're revolutionizing things. You're like, fuck,
it
people can
changed the
order
world.
shit. It shows up the next day, right? It's like it's the
It
largest
changed the world.
marketplace. Yeah, like it changed the world exactly. So that's that's the kind of ideal place I think to be, right? That in fact that's probably the most ideal company that you can have, one that is one of the most profitable companies, well, not, let's not say profitable, but highest revenue companies in the world, like largest companies, and that makes you a lot of money, let's say that, and has a huge value to the world, right? It has a mission, has a purpose, is doing something besides just making money.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely that intersection, and I think that's where everyone has to draw their own conclusion as to where they stand in that, or what they want to do with their lives in some
Yeah.
ways. There's no objective answer to that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like you've got to pick something that at least has some kind of,
Yeah, it's subjective to you. That's what we're saying, right?
yeah,
Because Alex might be objectively, like, there's no objective answer. Subjectively to the owner, it might be doing great service,
yeah, that's
but
true. Yeah,
to us, it's not. That's part of. But yeah,
but I think that's the constant like conflict that you have between doing things that can just straight up make money versus doing things that are impactful or mean something to you.
yeah. I think there's a big difference between something that means a lot to you compared to something that you do for the sake of, or what means a lot to you may not mean a lot to the person next door.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
Believe
though.
it or not, my
Yeah.
brother thinks my business is crap. It's
Yeah.
got no utility in the world,
Yeah.
right? So it's very subjective.
Yeah, it is. It just matters what it means to you, really, honestly. So,
Yeah.
all right, I got to drop off of here. I got a coaching call. So,
All right.
all right. See you next week. Yep.
Bye.